It seems that the Stratford Housing Authority is now making gun laws. Welcome to another installment of Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. Let's talk about this. Stratford, Connecticut, close to home. Apparently, the Housing Authority is now making a rule or policy that you cannot open carry a firearm within the grounds of their buildings. I'm gonna jump right into this Connecticut Post article. Here's title: Stratford Housing Authority weighs banning open carry of guns. Stratford. Residents living in the town's publicly owned apartments may soon be faced with an eviction notice if they are caught openly carrying a gun, even if they hold a valid permit. And I guess really right away you can see the very slippery slope that's being painted here. Because if they can say, well, we have the right to tell you not to open carry a gun, well, you're in a publicly funded, federally funded building. How about you just can't have a gun in the building? It just leads down that road. But the Stratford Housing Authority is considering a new policy barring public housing tenants and their guests from displaying or openly carrying firearms at any of its 8 public housing complexes. The proposed policy, which includes an exemption for police officers and other law enforcement officials, would require gun owners to conceal their weapons from public view while being carried outside an apartment. According to authority documents, the policy would regulate storage of guns, which, once again, is just going to collide with state law as is established. Basically what Ethan's law, I believe they called it, for storage of a firearm. But let's see. Quote, when not being lawfully carried, firearms must be stored in a locked cabinet and ammunition must be stored at a separate location from the firearm. Yeah, that kind of helps you out if when somebody breaks into your home. Wait 1 second, I got to go get my ammunition, which is over here, and then I got to get my gun, which is over there. Yeah, good luck with that. The draft policy reads in part: violation of this policy shall be grounds for termination of tenancy. And I wonder if that opens the door immediately to somebody being evicted because of this, specifically taking it to court. But the ban was proposed last month after some tenants at the Raymond E. Baldwin Apartments, a 75-unit public housing complex with elderly residents on Watkins Street, informed the housing authority staff that they were frightened by another resident who they witnessed openly carrying a pistol. I don't think you got to worry about a guy openly carrying a pistol in a holster. Okay? That's not the person I'm worried about. But, hey, we're soft, but what can you do? According to meeting minutes from late September, the resident and gun owner later told Housing Authority Executive Director Elizabeth Sulik that he possesses a lawful permit and carries the weapon for his protection. Liz explained that he was making others very uncomfortable and asked him to conceal the weapons when carrying, the minutes stated. He agreed to do so, however, a few days ago, the tenant was openly carrying again. That's something I'd like to dig into deeper, but there's not much information on why he did that. But the 153-word policy was drafted by John Florek, the authority's attorney. Florek told the 5-member authority commission last month that Connecticut is an open carry state, meaning law-abiding residents are free to carry guns in most public places as long as they have a valid state permit. But Florek also argued that the state allows property owners, including federally funded public housing developments, to place restrictions on weapons. That's what I'm talking about, a slippery slope. Get away with this. What's the next thing they're going to get away with? He noted the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development provides no guidance on the subject, so Connecticut's just kind of, at least Stratford, let me be correct, Stratford Housing Authority is just kind of making their own thing. Still, prohibitions on firearms in public places have long faced legal challenges. 2019, a federal judge ruled that a policy prohibiting tenants of a Missouri housing authority from owning any guns was unconstitutional. That's the slope right there. These people were told you can't have any firearms on the public funded houses. and they sued and they won. And in June, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down New York's law limiting the concealed carry of guns outside of home. We know that one, NYSRPA versus Bruin. The authorities board, which has signaled their strong support for the proposed policy, is scheduled to consider an open carry ban at its next meeting on Monday, November 21st. The board has given tenants until November 18th to submit comments or feedback about the proposal. And right here at the end, this is just the person who wrote the article. Okay. Now, the person carrying a gun is well within the law to do so. Some people are uncomfortable with him doing so. That is the balancing act that you're going to find a problem with. I personally don't care. I'm less inclined to be worried about a person open carrying than the criminal who has an illegal firearm who's not open carrying. But that's a whole nother issue. And like I said, this could lead to a very slippery slope. They do it. Bridgeport does it. Then every public housing authority in the state of Connecticut does it. Next thing you know, it's spreading like wildfire. And then it expands to, well, how about we just not let you, as they did in this Missouri case, how about we not let you carry a firearm or have a firearm, period, in public housing? Here's the problem with all these lawsuits that come up. The plaintiffs have to use their money, whoever that may be sponsored, whoever's backing them, whoever's giving them the money. The state or the city gets to use your money to defend themselves. Just like this case of Grant versus Malloy, which is challenging the assault weapons ban in Connecticut. Grant and the other plaintiffs are using the money they have, that they, procured to fight this thing. The state uses taxpayer money. So that's the problem with this, because the state can then arbitrarily just make laws, pass them, and then if you want to challenge them, you're going to have to spend a boatload of money to fight the whole thing all the way to the top, because it usually always does, and especially in cases where there's firearms involved, it usually ends up at the very top, at the Supreme Court. But this is something we need to watch, because this could become very abusive very quickly, because I'm sure when they meet on the 21st, they're going to pass this thing, and then that's the end of it. And we're going to see next thing they're going to say, well, if we did this, we can do that. Under the guise of, well, you're in our property, our public housing. But, hey, let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.